views and opinions expressed do not necessarily reflect those of Access Fort Wayne, the Allen County Public Library, or any other supporting groups. If you'd like to produce a show, call us at 260-421-1250.
Let me be your lighthouse so I can show you the way. Let me be your shining light, I'll keep you from drifting away. I'm the one that makes you try when...
Hello, this is Patty Hunter of Patty's Page. Welcome to my show. Today's guest is Dr. Tyler Johnson. Hello, Tyler.
Hey, Patty. Thanks for having me.
Oh, thank you. You're welcome. He's campaigning for Northeast Indiana GOP State Senate. Right?
Yep, District 14.
District 14. I was just going to ask where that
Yep,
was.
so we're kind of eastern Allen County and eastern DeKalb County, all the way from northern DeKalb line to the southern Allen County line. So
Oh, it's a lot.
it's a big district. It's a lot of good people.
A lot of people. How many people in the district?
It's 100,000+ people in the district.
Right on. So, where were you born and raised?
I was born and raised right here in the district. Grew up in Fort Wayne in Grable, Indiana, actually.
Grable.
So northeast of town, and went to elementary school and graduated from Leo High School. And then went to St. Francis here in town. So
They're good.
Yep, I love Northeast Indiana, and this is home for us.
That's good. That's good. Do you have siblings, like brother and
Yep,
sister?
we've got a brother and sister, both live here in town. My sister lives on a farm with my brother-in-law, and they farm out in Woodburn. And
Yeah, Woodburn.
my brother's a principal of in Fort Wayne Community Schools, and actually helps with their vocational studies and alternative studies and things like that.
Do they study at home with this COVID?
Some did, yes. Yep, some did, but
But
I
some
think they're back in school now.
Okay. Do you know Joe Kelsey?
I know Joe Kelsey.
He's a
Yep.
friend of ours. I
Good to hear.
Monica.
They're both good people.
Yeah. Yep. What profession were your parents?
My dad's a bricklayer, so a special type of bricklayer, fire bricker. So they do furnaces. So like Auburn Foundry, back when it was Auburn Foundry, or Fort Wayne Metals, where you melt metal down. They build the inside of those furnaces to hold that molten metal.
So it won't break out. And
Yep.
all over the-
I actually started off doing that. So I was right out of school, worked for him, and then my mom was a preschool teacher, and then for a long time, still is today actually.
Oh, is she really?
Yep. That's her passion. So.
They're both still around?
Yep, still around. Both in their 60s, and
I'm in my
Okay.
70s.
yeah.
Okay. While growing up, who had influenced you the most?
Yeah, my grandparents for sure. My dad's dad was a very big influence on me. He was a editor of the newspaper here in town, and a very smart guy, very principled person. So
Is the newspaper still around? No.
it's
Okay.
not the same as it was back then, that's for sure.
I used to be in typesetting for a newspaper thing. What schools did you go to and major in?
So after I graduated from Leo, I went to St. Francis and majored in biology. And then I actually went to medical school. So I'm a physician, and went to medical school in Florida and got an osteopathic medicine degree.
What did
So osteopathic medicine is a little bit different than allopathic medicine, as we learn a little bit more about the autonomic and the nervous systems and things like that. And we learned some manipulative medicine, like physical therapy type stuff, that is a little bit extra from medical school.
We should talk.
Yeah.
You graduated, your first job, like you said, was?
I worked doing construction and refractory work, so bricklaying type stuff with my dad.
Do you live still in Grable or Leo?
I live in Leo
Leo?
area. Yep.
Do you have a farm or do you?
We have a small hobby farm.
Yeah.
I don't call myself a farmer though. My brother-in-law is a farmer. We just have a nice little hobby farm with some chickens and corn or beans and hay, and we
What a
enjoy
mixture.
that. Yeah.
Interesting. That'd be great in So you're married with kids.
I am married. We've been married since 2004. My wife Alicia. We have 4 kids, all the way from 14, 10, 5, and 3. So
Oy vey, what a interesting, busy life you have.
we love our family and we have a great time. So.
Does your wife work or
She works in the house and
Yes.
takes care of our kids and
Yes.
makes sure their life is as easy and stable as possible.
This is good. And it's good to have a doctor around too, right?
Yeah.
Especially with kids. So, what are the most important values you hold?
Yeah, we're Christian and believe in the Bible, and we try to live our life based on that. And you know, we try to go back to those principles. And when it comes to valuing family and valuing life, and you know, staying kind and humble, we try to live out those values.
You go to church and everything.
We go to church. We go to church on the east side of town here at Central Ministries. I've gone there since high school. I was not saved as a young kid like most people
Yeah.
around here say they are, and it took me a little while to meet the Lord and learn to kind of walk in His ways. And my wife grew up in that church though, and
I'm glad.
we love it there. It's a great ministry, and they do a lot of great things, and proud to be a part of that.
So the kids, they go to the same church you go to?
The kids go to our church. They go to school up closer to us in Leo, there, Auburn area though.
Auburn.
Yep.
That's not too far. So, so you are pro-life indeed.
Yes, for sure, pro-life. We are, one of the most important issues to us is the life issue. As a physician, we know that life begins at conception, and it's not hard to argue that what we're doing in today's world is wrong.
Yeah, I don't know why there's such confusion and blindness and towards loving our own kids, you know. I've always wanted to know about that. Why?
Yep, and it's hard to understand, and you know, we try
I don't know
to.
God.
Yeah, yep, and it's tough, and we try to meet women where they're at, and my wife is very, very good in her ministry over the years of walking with women who are in crisis and trying to help them know that they have options and choices that don't involve abortion, and whether it's adoption or finding the resources so they don't feel stuck and things like that. We want to support people, and most women will tell you that they feel like they don't have a choice, and that's not true at all.
Because they were told they didn't have any choice.
For a lot of times, yeah.
By a family.
Or a boyfriend, or you know, it's an abusive relationship,
Yes. You get a lot of that where you work? Or?
or we do see that occasionally where we work. Yeah.
It's sad. So, to be a doctor, how many years did you study?
Yeah, it's an 11-year process to become an emergency physician.
What, you
so-
started out when you're that high?
Yeah. Well, when I was 17 years old,
17
yep,
years,
I
that's what happens.
started through that process, and
Mhm.
I had a great training, good people, and I met a lot of good people through that process, and had several mentors through that process that really helps you keep your foundation. And
Yeah.
colleges
Correct.
can be very, very kind of liberal and kind of left leaning, and kind of don't always teach on the principles we believe in. And so it was good to come outside the other side of that even stronger in my faith and
That's
in
good.
those principles.
Pro-life doctor, do you deal with the pregnant woman or anything like that when you're
We see
practicing?
we see a lot of women who are early in pregnancy. They feel like they might be pregnant, or you know, they might have a minor complication or a major one even, and having the opportunity to talk with them and pray with them, and you know, let them know that things can be okay, that it doesn't have to be a scary or time of crisis is important.
That's what I like to hear. So, what specialized medicine did you start in?
Emergency medicine.
Emergency?
Yep, so we take all comers, whether it's a car accident or a pregnant woman or a sick kid or somebody in pain from cancer, we see all those things. So it's a very interesting specialty that kind of encompasses everything.
You must have a nerves of steel.
It can be a very high stress job.
Yeah.
Part of our training is how to deal with that though, and how to decompress from that. And some people handle it better than others, but kind of keeping that smooth, line to keep things on the level is what we're supposed to be able to do. When everybody else is scared and in crisis, we're paid not to have the emergency.
You held several leadership roles over the years. What were they?
Yeah, I've really taken an interest recently in kind of medicine at the state level and national level, and so I've gotten very involved with the State Medical Association and the emergency physicians in Indiana. And most recently, I held the president role and stepped down to run for office. But locally, I also serve as an administrator at the hospital and help lead the medical staff there. And so that's been a good role there.
Do you work with lawyers or?
Every once in a while, we'll work with legal, because a lot of times doctors get sued or have to follow guidelines and things like that. So we do work with lawyers every once in a while, and it's they're not all bad.
You gotta remember, doctors are not God, and they do mistakes sometimes, but basically they're all right.
I'll tell you that my outlook on it is most physicians are trying to do the right thing.
Yes.
And it's not that they're out there trying to injure people. Our job is extremely hard.
To help.
Yes.
And do you know abortionist, pro-life? Not abortionist, OBGYN?
At the current moment, I actually don't know any abortionists, because we don't have an abortion industry in Northeast Indiana right now, which is we're very thankful for. Some very good friends have been a big part of keeping that from happening, and we really want to keep it that way. Our philosophy is that there's really not a medical need for abortion. Abortion is not health care.
No.
And so there's times when women or pregnancies go awry, and there's dangerous moments and things like that. And we try to direct that care as best as possible to treat the mother and the baby.
Yes, the baby is an individual, not like the mom. It's mom and dad put together as a baby, different soul, different body. You just have to let the people know if I'm very pro-life. And I have been interviewing a lot of people and GOP leaders, They're very kind to let me chat with them and share their views with me.
Good.
You're doing awfully good, sir. Nowadays, what main job position do you hold?
Yeah, so I spend most of my time at the hospital as an emergency physician in the department.
So you don't have any other, that's just the main thing you're doing all the
Yeah, but in those administrative positions. So I do that the majority of the time, other than volunteer work. So
Oh, volunteer.
Yep.
Doing what? With who?
Work at the Christian Community Healthcare Clinic in Grable. So I volunteer some hours a month, a few hours a month, to meet people and treat them. Usually, minor ailments, not
basic.
yeah, not dangerous emergency things, but more maintenance things like that. A lot of times we spend time talking through stress and anxieties and things like that too.
Students, inner city, or?
They come to the clinic from all over, from as far as Steuben County all the way down to Adams County. So it's quite a broad area that
It
they
must be a
draw from.
big place.
It's not. It's still a community country kind of clinic, but it has its own facility, and it's a great group of people.
I'm sure they're very compassionate
Very much so.
to
Very
all
much so.
people who come. Doesn't matter who they are and what nationality, language, and all.
Yep.
True. When did you first become interested in politics to run?
Yeah, so I've always paid attention to the issues and the policies and the discussion. I've never actually been that involved in the political sphere. I've tried to stay out of that. My focus was medicine and family, and my wife and I had actually kind of had a philosophy of retreating back onto our farm to focus on our family, and God called us out of that to run for office a little over 2 years ago. And I didn't know what that looked like or where that would be, but we really had God opened several doors to guide us into this position. And we really feel like we're running for the right office at the right time. And God's really shown us that path.
So you have to start from the bottom up, research, and work your way up.
Yep, we have, I've had friends that run for office in the past, and they kind of understand the process, but nobody really knows what it's like to run or can tell you or anything like that. And it's a very interesting process. You immediately, when you run as a very conservative candidate, you have a lot of people who you've worked with for a long time who don't understand, and now that you've taken a public stance, they tend to back away from you somewhat if don't believe in your values, and so we've tried to learn how to be respectful of that, and but we also have a lot of people who have come around us to help encourage us and support us, and we've been blessed by that and humbled by that, and we'll keep really pushing forward. We have about 90 days left before the election, and so we're working really hard and have a good campaign going, and we've gone really since September. I didn't tell a whole lot of people we were running until then, so I tried to respect Senator Cruz, who's retiring from the seat that we're running for, so I didn't really tell anybody until
he made the announcement.
He made the announcement, so we didn't jump in until after that. So
throw your hat in the ring, say, "Here I am."
Yep, and we are all in.
You betcha. What is your main mission in life, especially to be a senator?
Yeah, so we have several core values. We would really like to see Indiana continue on a conservative path. We've had a supermajority in the House and Senate, and with a Republican government for some time, and it's time for abortion to be gone in Indiana.
Roe versus Wade, we'll find out in June, won't we?
Well, yeah, but we can push it beyond that. Even we need to find innovative ways to do the right thing here, and even conservative values like gun rights or lower taxes, things like that. We really need to keep pushing the direction and the conversation that way.
So get it out in the open and have everybody's think about it and say, oh, what's good and what's not good for us.
Correct.
All right. So you're now campaigning. Your boundaries, your thing is all over the place. Just go through it again with me.
Yep. So we're eastern Allen County and eastern DeKalb County. So if you take about I-69 east of that in DeKalb County, and Allen County, it gets a little more curvy, but it's essentially about St. Joe Road or Schwartz Road.
Am I in your district?
We're right on the edge of it.
Oh,
so, and then when we get to St. Joe Center Road, we kind of start making some curves around St. Joe Township, and then we go back down through Adams Township and to southern Allen County.
How do you divide?
It's a big territory.
Is it a moving line all the time?
It's usually townships, and the state decides that. They develop these maps of districts. And
do they change now and then?
Every 10 years.
Oh,
Every 10 years. So we just completed that process this year.
Talk about confusion here.
Yep.
So what issues would you deal as a senator?
So our philosophy right now, and it has been, is we're essentially on a learning tour and a listening tour, and we have been for the last, many months. And so I spend a lot of my time, as I did today. I had several meetings where I meet with community members and hear their concerns and the conversation. And we have different. Our job is to be a representative of those constituents, and so hearing their values and what they are fighting for and want, and we'll represent that.
Fire, policemen, EMS, you working with them?
Yep, so we work in the emergency department, so naturally we work with fire and EMS and police all day long. So they're coming in, we've developed relationships over the years where we work with them and they're part of our community, and When we announced, we had, all three of those represented heavily at our announcement and our event. And it was great to see the support of all three, police, fire, and EMS.
Oh, that's good. So you're protecting life, investing your money wisely.
Yes, protecting life is, we are unabashed about our pro-life stance. We're bold, and we need to end abortion today. It just doesn't need to be here anymore. There's no value in it. And investing your money wisely is it's what we personally believe. It's what we do personally with our money, but it's also the way we help run our group of physicians and company, and feel that God, it's God's money. He's entrusted us with it, and we should be prayerful about how we spend it and invest it.
And the right to bear arms, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of controversy over that.
Yeah, so it's controversial at the State House right now, and it's worked its way. So there's a bill called legal carry, essentially, that just passed through the House. It essentially gives the right to carry a firearm as long as you're a law-abiding citizen and you don't have any restraints on that.
And the criminals, they can get it anywhere.
Correct, and that's the idea, is people that are breaking the law don't really follow the law anyway.
Right.
So you're essentially penalizing law-abiding citizens.
That's right. When in May? Is it May 3rd for the primary?
May 3rd is the primary. Early voting is about a month before that.
Right.
So we encourage everybody to get out. We're going to need as many people as we can to support us and get out and vote May 3rd.
We'll be putting this on before May and all that, so we can have people watch us talk about this. So in November, what is that? That's federal.
The general election will be in November.
General.
So we'll likely have a Democrat opponent, and so we should know who that is, and they have a primary also, and it looks like they probably only have one person filed, but we have to get through the May primary first, and then we'll go from there.
We're behind you all the way, dear.
We appreciate that.
If you want to come back on my show, again, hint, hint. When you get elected, there you go. So, when in November will be the...
You're gonna catch me on the date. It's the first Tuesday in November. I believe.
Okay, we'll look it up. When you become elected, how many years can you hold until each?
Right, so it's 4-year terms. So, when we win, if the people like the job we're doing, they'll re-elect us. And, there's some people that talk about term limits and things like that, but we've not committed to, I don't know how long God's called me to run for office. And as long as we're doing a good job, we would hope people would re-elect us.
Yes. What other country do you go to volunteer or help out?
I've been to Haiti.
Haiti.
We've done missions there. That's the only recent mission, outside of the U.S. that I've done. We went and worked with kids in the mountain region of central Haiti and the Dominican, and kind of drove trucks up in the mountains and opened clinics and treated people for several days and lived in the back country. And it's a great mission. We've supported an orphanage down there for quite a long time now, almost a decade probably, and made the trip to actually go work with folks down there.
How many doctors on call?
There was myself as a physician. We took a nurse practitioner with us and several students with us.
Do you still do that? Or?
We plan on as soon as we get back. There's some civil unrest down there, and COVID has prevented us from going back. So,
finally, what would you like to say to my audience to encourage them through this troubled times in the government and health-wise?
Yeah, things are just very unsettling, aren't they? You
Yes.
have COVID and civil unrest and, government that doesn't, seem to represent our values. And,
I'm not helping.
and we don't find our hope and our peace in that. And so that's why we kind of fall back to our basis and our values. And we find our faith in the Bible is where we support that at. So I would offer that as a word of encouragement.
I'd like to thank you, sir.
Thank you, Pat.
Tyler, you're doing a good job.
Thank you.
This is Dr. Tyler Johnson, so I'd like to thank him for coming on to my show again.
Thanks.
I like shaking hands. This is Patty Hunter, Patty's Page. We'll see you next week, and may God willing, we will see you next week. Catch you later.
Godspeed, my love, until we meet again. You're always in my heart and every dream. Don't let this time apart give in to all our fears. God will keep us close from up above. So until we meet again, Godspeed, my love. God is with us always.